So before we get started, download the presentation, erict.co/TulsaRobot. The T and the R have to be capitalized. It is case sensitive. 2 questions, SMTQ is what I was going to track if you have something for me, or you can just raise your hand, whatever might be easier, or the official one, ask SMTULSA. Live tweeting, I'm at EricTTung, and of course the hashtag is SMTULSA. Hi, I'm the social media manager at BMC Software. Who's ever actually heard of BMC Software? I was going to ask that yesterday. Yeah, and that's what I expect. So BMC does like enterprise level type software, help desks, mainframes, that kind of thing. So it's not really a consumer brand, which I think makes it a little bit more interesting when we have to get into social, right? Because it's all B2B stuff. Started on Facebook at UT in 2005. Any sooner?
Of course.
Got a private invite to Google the day before they started up. Google Plus, administered over 100 Twitter handles, 50 Facebook pages, and about 25 LinkedIn and Google Plus pages. So how do we coordinate that? So first, we're going to talk about how to curate content smarter, how to distribute it smarter, and really just kind of smarter ways of measuring your social impact. Number 1, Dan Zarella. Wow, that kind of spacing kind of messed up there. Users who tweet between 10 and 50 times per day have more followers on average than those that tweet more or less frequently. The peak is about 22 times a day.
Holy cow.
How many people tweet 22 times a day? We got to click a few. How many tweet more than 5 times a day? Okay. So that's good. And basically, he, if you don't know Dan Zarella, he's over at HubSpot, and he takes literally hundreds of thousands and millions of tweets and posts and that kind of thing, crunches all the numbers and figures out kind of the trends behind the data, and that's one of the things he found out. Track social blog, I guess, kind of repeats that too. As brands tweet more, the total number of retweets only continues to increase. They also created something that they call the response score, and that continues to increase more. So if you look at it, it's kind of like it increases slightly less every time, but it still goes up, right? So the more you tweet, the more engagement you get. A lot of people still think, at a certain point, people start getting tired of hearing from you, and you'll get less engagement. But these guys say that's not true. So how can you possibly keep up with that much volume? Number 1, curate smarter. Step 1 is build Twitter lists, and lots of them, right? So who actually has Twitter lists? Who uses Twitter lists? Now that you have to know, right? So once you get past maybe following 1,000 people or something, you want to actually start to segregate people out so you can get an idea of how they actually relate to you, right? So are they social media people, or are they industry people, or are they, news people, or local government people that you want to keep track of, whatever. So you can actually automate a little bit of the curation and the social interaction. I'll show you how to do that. Number 1, building Twitter lists. If you don't know how to, you can pull up someone's Twitter handle here, click on the cog, and come down here and go to add or remove from lists. If you don't have any lists created, it'll ask you to name a list, or you can create a new list anytime there. Create lists for different industries, subjects, experts. We've got some things up here. Down over here. And then just inspirational stuff, right? Fun stuff. Make a list of people you've actually met in real life on Twitter, or I'll actually create a list before I go to some of the conferences that are lists of people I want to meet there. So, but literally, you can go in here once a week and just completely fill up your buffer of stuff that people are talking about in your industry. When people ask what percentage of your stuff should be curated versus stuff that belongs to you, stuff that you wrote, a lot of people kind of abide by the 5-3-2 rule, which is out of every 10 posts, 5 should be stuff that is completely agnostic, so it's not it's not anything that really relates to your company. It's just good industry info. 3 can relate to your company, but not be directly salesy or pitchy. Right? So it could be, hey, we all went out and helped out at the Habitat house today. Here's a picture or something, right? And then 2 can be a little bit more marketing salesy type. So, community, it's free for one career profile. For businesses, it's $34.99 a month, and for corporate, it's $139 a month. And I think if I set up this right, we can actually go right in and take a little look. And Community's got a lot more different little features beyond that as well. For example, one thing I like is it's got a little area that kind of says, you know, here's a list of people you used to like mention a lot, and now you don't really talk to them. Maybe you should say hi. You know, so let me see. But anyway, it has some pretty good just kind of Twitter management tool behind it as well. It'll show you people that you might want to follow just based on subject matter. It gives you follow Friday options. Oh wait, I'm not. But yeah, it's got a bunch of neat little tools that you can do. Mostly, I think I'm going to community tab here. So over here we've got your, you know, consider to reply. These are people that have mentioned you that you haven't re-engaged yet. So it's kind of a cool way to make sure that everyone that's mentioned you reply to. Consider to re-engage. That's what I was talking about, that you haven't talked to them in a while. So go check out community tab.
Do they offer any analytics?
Not really, I don't think. Here we go. Reports. I haven't been here in a while. Moving on. Paperly. Anyone use Paperly? Yeah. Paperly is kind of cool because it automatically creates a virtual paper based on the tweets of the people that you follow, right? So if you follow a bunch of people in social, if you follow a bunch of people in liquor or piping, let's see, who else have I heard of? Jazz singing, right? So you can actually put together kind of a list of people, and it'll actually kind of create this little virtual paper. And then it auto tweets it for you. So here's one from actually like a few months ago. Social media daily is out, top stories via these 3 people. And people really love seeing their name, right? They like seeing their handles. So you usually get a few retweets and a few favorites and comments and stuff. So it's a good way to kind of keep a little bit of engagement going on. From Dan Zarella, he took a look at tweets with the words daily is out, which is what Paperly uses when you publish, and then tweets without daily is out. So here's the effect on click-through rate. So people actually click through those links more than your standard link. It's free for most people. If you want Pro, $9 a month. Pretty manageable. They get rid of ads and stuff.
Can I ask you a question about this?
Yeah.
I had no idea that that's what this was. I get this in my email from a guy I follow, and the only thing that bothered me about it when I get the email from him is that it just says Paperly in the. Is there a way that you could change that to make it more custom?
I think so. I think that's probably part of the Pro plan.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure. I haven't gotten on that.
Okay.
Side of it.
Got it.
But that's kind of neat to. You might want to talk to him about that.
I will. I'll ask him to. He seems to.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone use IFT? A couple IFTers. IFT stands for if, this, then that. And I talked about it a little bit yesterday. But basically you create these things called recipes, and it kind of ties together different social networks, right? So you click on, it looks exactly like this when you pull it up and log in. If this, you click on this, and then it gives you your option of whatever tools you want to pick. And there's like between 70 and 80 at this point. Here's like, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them. Like Etsy, you can actually do Etsy searches. So you're like, if green handmade purses pop up on Etsy, I want an email right now, you know, that kind of thing.
Mine auto texts my mom when I go to the airport.
Ooh.
Like, hey mom, I'm headed to the airport. See you soon.
There you go. I've got one on time and date that reminds me a week before my wedding anniversary.
Yay!
So maybe I can tie that back to Etsy somehow.
Not for anniversary,
Just
you
have
can't.
something pop up at the door. You know. So yeah, you can choose a trigger. So if you chose like RSS, you can say anytime a news feed or new feed item pops up. So that's anything that pops up on your RSS. Or you can do anytime a new item matches something. So you can do keywords too, right? So maybe if you want to automatically tweet stuff from Mashable, but only when it relates to Facebook or something, you can actually have it that specific. And then, so here is my RSS feed. Plug it in and create a trigger. And then it'll say, okay, it's got your RSS logged in. Now, what do you want us to do with that? Click on that. And if you wanted to choose like Twitter, you can post a tweet. You can post a tweet with an image, add a user to a list, update your profile picture, or update your bio. So let's say post a tweet. And then you can actually add and take out what you want included in that tweet, right? So you've got little pieces from your RSS feed that fall under different categories, right? So you have like your title and then your URL. You can also add, I think, like if it's from a particular source, you can just type in like from @Mashable or whatever, right? So you can kind of create that tweet for you. And by the way, all these different tools can make your Twitter handle kind of robotic a little bit, right? So I think it's kind of like the Force. You have to use it for good, not for evil. But you can, all of the stuff that you do, obviously don't make it 100% of your feed, but also make sure when you use it, you're using it so you can free up more time so you can better engage people, right? So you're not just doing it so you can go, read Reddit more. You should do it so you can actually find better ways to engage.
What are some of your top recipes? Like, what's most useful for you?
I'll pop in a sec. And then we talked about the real world stuff yesterday. So, yeah, my top one is really the one that connects weather to SMS. So for me, it's, is it going to rain tomorrow? Because I only have a Harley, so it makes it hard to get to work when I. Oh, here we go. Maybe? And they actually have lists of other people's recipes too, so you can take a look at what other people do. So I've got 7 recipes Fiverr turned on. And if I upvote something on Reddit, then add that to my buffer. Right? Because it's probably something that is kind of interesting. So I want to share it on Twitter later. Be the first person on Facebook to say Happy New Year. If the time is 12 o'clock on January 1st, send an SMS to remind yourself of your anniversary. Send all Instagram photos to Dropbox.
Huh.
So you have a copy of this.
What the what? That is awesome.
Send all photos that you're tagged in on Facebook to Dropbox, or to Google Docs, or to Evernote.
My mind is blowing up.
If it's going to rain tomorrow, let me know today. Ladies, if you're on a date that you didn't like, you can send a text to them, and it'll call you and read out the text. So you can say, if I text 123 to IFT, I want you to read me, hey, your mom is in the hospital. We need to come fast.
You don't want me to follow up and ask how your mom is, though.
You don't ever want to answer the phone for them again.
Let's see. So you can come up here and browse recipes. and see what other people are putting together.
And then it's
Yep. If there's a birthday on my calendar today, then send me a reminder. So that's from your, I guess, Google Calendar. Send your favorite from Pocket to OneNote. Email me when Congress schedules a vote on the bill. So I guess that's like for someone that's really new. Yep. Facebook photos to Dropbox. Upload new iOS photos to Google Drive. Right. New Instagram photos to Flickr. So anytime you take a picture, you can copy it to like 5 different places automatically. Trending. If tomorrow's forecast calls for rain, send me a note. Every day at 7, push the weather report. Lifehacker posts a new download roundup, send me the link. If new Amazon.com free Android app of the day, send me that link. So there's a bunch of little cool things you can check out there. So ifttt.com. All right. There's also another one called Zapier. Zapier's a lot more complicated. So like how if you clicked on Twitter, you had like 5 different options that you could do with Twitter. Zapier's got like 150 different options, right? Depending on different little pieces of what you want to do with it. So you can say, like, if a person that tweets me has followers that, has more than 10,000 followers, then I want you to do something special with it. So they've got a lot more services too, 239 web services, and they keep adding to that too. But they charge you based on how many recipes you have. So every time you run it, they charge you for that. So if you want something more complicated than IFT, you can have that option as well. Smarter content distribution. How do you, now that you have the content, now that you've found it, how do you get it out there, right? So automate when you can, schedule, cross-channel post, and check your analytics in the feed. So number 1, Buffer. Any Buffer users? Any Awesome Plan Buffer users? Abe? You get a free Buffer account for like, I think you only get like 10 buffers. But if you pay $10 a month or $100 a year, something like that, you can get a paid version and you get unlimited. So Buffer really stood out because they were the first people that you didn't have to schedule each individual post. So on Hootsuite, if you wanted to schedule something, you said, hey everyone, we're going to have a sale this Wednesday or whatever. You had to then say, I want this to go out on Tuesday at 12:05 p.m., right? So once you do that like 40 times, it gets really, really monotonous. You don't want to do it anymore. So Buffer was the first one to come out and say, well, I want you to pick like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and these different times. And then it'll just send out your tweets for you, or Facebook posts, or LinkedIn group posts, or LinkedIn company posts. It'll just go through your buffer of them and send them at the times that you told them to send them, right? So it's a little bit easier to use. Plus, so you can write your tweets, and then they just auto-schedule right into your buffer. But wait, there's more. They give you some pretty basic analytics, right? So you can see this particular tweet had 0 retweets, 0 favorites, 0 mentions, 0 clicks. I guess it wasn't a very good tweet. But it also tells you the number of impressions you got, right? So there were 64.5 thousand possible impressions based on that. There's a Chrome extension that's really neat. So you go to the Chrome store, or whatever it's called, and it adds this little buffer icon to your Chrome toolbar. Okay, and what that does is when you click on that, it actually grabs the page title and the URL and pops that into a buffer post for you. So if you were at the Social Media Tulsa thing website and you clicked on the buffer Chrome extension, it'll say, Social Media Tulsa, whatever the page title is. Check it out at SMTULSA.com, and then you can type over whatever you wanted, right? Hey, I'm going to be here, guys. Come check me out, whatever. And then you can buffer directly from that, so you don't even have to have buffer open. Even better than that, I don't think I added a new. Okay, I didn't add a new image there. But basically, it also adds a buffer retweet right into Twitter.com. So when you're on Twitter.com in Chrome, it'll have how you have like retweet, respond, favorite. It'll also have a little icon that says buffer retweet. So you can buffer that straight into your buffer account, and it's actually a native Twitter retweet. So we'll actually copy the entire post right in. So it's not the ones that say retweet still has your picture. It actually has their picture, their original tweet, which is fine.
I have a question.
Yes.
Depending on other people's creative page titles, I'm not sure I want to do that all the time.
Yeah. You
When
can edit that too.
it puts it in there, but you can overwrite that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I like
So
that.
it figures that, if you're on a blog or something, or a website, whatever they've chosen the page title is probably pretty close to.
I've seen websites forget and it just has blank dash company name.
Yeah. Or sometimes you have like apostrophes and stuff, and you get like the
Oh yeah.
pound space 20 ampersand,
Mhm.
whatever. So you can edit that
Okay.
out. Free 10 posts a month. Awesome plan $10 a month or $102 a year. Business accounts 50, 100, and 250 a month. And that you can actually have different team members collaborate on that too for your company. Actually, let me see. Actually, I think I log in through Twitter. So, does anyone use LastPass or any kind of password types of? I think so. Yeah. So I use a service called LastPass, and they also have a Chrome extension. But what they do is they remember your passwords for you, so you don't have to remember them. So if you have access to 50 different Twitter accounts, and you have this huge spreadsheet that has all of them in it, right? You can actually just use LastPass. It'll drop down and say, hey, which account you want to fill out, and you click on it, and it autofills for you. Right? It also has the ability to make amazingly difficult passwords, like literally like 25 or 30 string, completely random passwords. So, all these people that have like, Muffy123 or password 246, right? Like, someone guessed your password in like 5 tries. You can make it so they have it for you. Downside is, when you need to log in on your Twitter account from another computer, sometimes you don't remember it. Or hopefully you don't remember it. If you do, you're probably some amazing genius or something. But yeah, that's a kind of cool way to track your passwords. Custom link shortener. If anyone's been following my handle, you've noticed that all my links come out erict.co. And basically, all you have to do is I don't know why I did that. Go to Bitly, right? It goes through Bitly, and you register your domain through whatever domain registrar you use. I use GoDaddy. And you go under Advanced Settings, and you can actually just add in your custom short domain right here. So that's where I get like, erict.co/tulsa-robot. You can actually customize that too sometimes if you need it, or you can have it just kind of auto post right there. Bitly also gives you some analytics, so you can go in and see how many clicks you've gotten. So for whatever month this was, I got about 20,000 clicks off of links from my Twitter handle. You can see that most of them are from yandex.ru, which is the #1 search engine in Russia. I have no idea why. Maybe I should go speak there or something. No. But 27% from Twitter, eric2tongue.com, so you can kind of see a little breakout of how people, where people are referring your links from, and also what countries they're from. Free plan is free, ironically. And the business plan, if you go there, just request a demo. So I don't know what kind of prices it has. But you can also use Bitly without actually registering. And so bit.ly, don't forget and I think bitly.com, I think they register too, so it actually is going to the same place. But if you wanted to, you can just go, you can pop in and add a link and have it short. But a lot of people don't know. that you actually need to make your bit.ly links private if you don't want people to see the analytics behind it. So if you go to twitter.com, I guess I need to find a different. Hey, a lock guest wireless. You can actually, we've done this before, where we can pull bit.lys from our competitors and see how many people have clicked on those links. All you have to do is go to I don't know if I have it even. verity.co/Tulsa robot, and then you just put the plus sign. And it should give you the analytics behind that one. If we have that one. Oh, looks like it's going to work. All right, I guess we'll come back to it.
So if you're like a Hootsuite user, obviously,
Yep.
hourly links are easy. Is there any kind of interface between, like, do you want to use Bitly, but you're still a Hootsuite user, where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of like 3 different steps.
So Hootsuite has the option that you can use the API from Bitly, so you can have it automatically convert into Bitly links instead of Hootsuite link or hourly links if you want.
Wow.
TweetDeck has the same thing. A lot of different services give you the option to use that, so you can actually have everything kind of pour into your Bitly account.
Okay.
Good question. I also use sharedby.co, which gives a few different things as well. They used to be known as something else that escapes me at this moment. So I just wasted like 5 seconds of everyone's life. But the first thing they do is anything that you tweet, they will replicate the tweet, they'll copy the whole thing and retweet it again from your handle, but they'll change the link to a link that they'll track for you, right? And then they'll delete the first tweet. Now when they change the link then has this cool little sharing bar at the top of it. So if you're sharing stuff, if you click on almost anything from me, you'll get this at the top. You know, find me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. This little section up here is your RSS feed, so you can have the RSS feed from your blog post into this sharing link. And then also you can tweet or like me from the thing as well.
So that'll get put on whatever page the link takes them to?
Yeah, so if you like tweeted, I don't know, come check out our website, it would actually have your website, and then it would also have your product up.
Any page?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then you get cool little analytics behind that as well. So that's kind of like what that looks like. I guess it's close to 300 clicks a day or so. But you can actually, one of the things that I really like about them too is you can see stuff kind of real time. So you can see like in the last 30 minutes what things have people been clicking on that SharedBy has changed around for you, right? So you can see like which particular blog posts are really like popping. Free for real-time 14-day analytics. If you want deeper analytics, $7 a month. So once you're at that point, right? So we've found the content, we've pushed it out there. How do you measure your social impact? So you can do stuff on blog, like and on websites too, right? Like just general web pages. I'll show you some cool little sharing options there, and then you can also promote that. So there's differences. I think a lot of people don't know this between follow buttons, like follow me on Twitter, versus sharing buttons, right? Like share this post on Twitter for me, right? So a lot of times you kind of have to make that a little bit clearer for your customers or whoever's on your website to know whether you're trying to have them follow you or whether you're trying to have them share something for you, right? So kind of take a little look at your UI, make sure it's not too confusing, make sure you don't put all the buttons all next to each other, right? So trying to make that a little bit easier to use. And there's two main services, I think, that offer sharing. And you can put these on your blog posts, or which is where you see the most commonly. By the way, research shows that you get the best shares on your blog posts if you have sharing buttons at the top and at the bottom of your blog post. And that's because some people will actually share stuff before they even read it. And I think a lot of people do that, right? But then a lot of people also want to share it once they actually finish reading it. So you'll get more shares if you do both as opposed to one or the other. And both share this and add this have like a whole bunch of different buttons that you can choose from. So you can pick whatever ones you like. And all the way from like little tiny ones all the way down to ones that show you the actual like numbers of the shares. If you only get like 0 to 2 shares, probably don't. Oh, and they even have ones that go on the bottom of the page. These are kind of cool because they kind of follow you around. I don't know if they're cool or annoying, but they'll follow you around on the page when you scroll, right? So there's always a little thing that shows you that you can share that page, or on the side, or on the top. If you do one of these little bars, do not put them on multiple places on the page. Just put one bar down. Okay. And this is what your share this analytics looks like. So you can have kind of your summary. It'll show you like what % of your traffic is social. Where is it being shared to, or like what networks it's being shared to, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and also how many shares there's been, how many clicks, and so forth. So it's got some pretty cool stuff. And their competitor is AdThis, same kind of thing, different ways to share. And this was actually an old company I used to work for. Apparently they never took me off their AdThis account. And they apparently also don't produce any content anymore. So you can actually take a look at how many shares you've had, how many clicks, follows, and then they've got some deeper stuff down here as well. If you want to check out the social sharing of any web page, whether it's a blog post or otherwise, socialsiteexplorer.com. Oh, so I've had 6 clicks on that Bitly link, by the way, the robots one. 8 total clicks, because there's been 5 Bitlys generated, and 75% of clicks are from this particular link. So it gives you some pretty good little analytics, even if you aren't the actual owner. Social site explorer. Unable to connect. So basically, you can type in like, SMTULSA.com. It'll tell you how many times it's been shared on Facebook, shares, likes, and comments. Google Plus, stumble upon, LinkedIn, tweets, Reddit, upvotes, and your score, and also Pinterest. So it kind of shows you all the way across. Yeah.
Now, in the URL, do you need the social media mar, or is that the page you want information on?
Oh no, this is where the link goes, right? So this is a blog post I wrote.
All right. So
this would be like eBay.com or something right here.
Okay.
If that's what you wanted to set on.
Got it. Cool.
So you just type in the URL of wherever, and then it kicks you to this landing page where I go to this.
If you have Wi-Fi.
Yes, there is a problem whether or not you have a connection to the internet.
But yeah.
Hey, I found it. Boy, they just don't like you today, do they?
No. I checked out like right before I came down here. They must be like, you don't live here anymore.
I can't even tell you how sexy I feel right now. I'm doing something.
in like a month. So check that out.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to find out.
All right, Sprout Social. Anyway, Sprout Social. Yep. They are really awesome, I think. We actually use them for BMC stuff, and you can create groups and do lots of awesome stuff. PowerPoint's not Sprout.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. All right, so let me pull that up for you. I had like all the links staged out on my Mac, and then I couldn't find like a connector to connect it to the screen. So please pardon the awkward pauses.
So you're having to wing it.
Okay, are there any direct competitors to BMC software in this room? Okay. By not leaving right now, you hereby sign a non-disclosure agreement with. So Sprout, they're kind of neat. They have several different main areas. So number one, it has the ability to search for any mention of your brand name across social. You can tie in multiple accounts, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter for the most part. And on the paid accounts, we pay like $90 a month per user. So we're I think five or six users or so. So we're like $500 or $600 a month. But we have literally like 35 or 40 different accounts that they track for us. Even if you have, okay, so here's our messages, everything that mentions BMC. You can actually even assign tasks to people too. So if you've got multiple departments that work on social, whether they're like customer service, right, or maybe like HR and recruiting, right, they might have a piece to play with it, that kind of thing. If you have different departments that might need to touch on something, you can actually assign tasks to people. Feeds, you can actually dive right into the different feeds from any of your handles. So it's kind of like, I mean, Hootsuite, you can set up your comments and things, but I think it makes it a little bit easier because it's a little bit more. You could probably do it, on the spot a little bit better. Publishing, they've got the ability to do, obviously kind of the scheduled stuff that you do from like Hootsuite, but they also have what they call the Sprout queue, which you can, it's kind of like Buffer, right? So it'll actually figure out for you the optimal times for you to tweet, and then it'll push your tweets out for you.
Oh my God, you're a genius.
Yep. Reports is really cool. I don't think any of these have actually pulled up, but if you're looking for kind of the volume type metrics, right? So how many people have followed us from March 15th to April 15th of 2013 or whatever, they'll be able to pull that out for you. And you can select all the different accounts that you have. Oh, there it is. So you can select all the different accounts if you need to break it up, if you have multiple different accounts. They also track like amount of time for your responses. So if you track that as like a customer service metric, it'll tell you like what your response rate is. And they even have a little couple metrics that they gauge, like how influential you are. It's kind of like their clout score, you could say. So they've got kind of cool little pieces to it. And you can even add your personal accounts for free. So you can schedule stuff in for your personal accounts and also track. Last week I was curious how many impressions I've had from 2013, for the full year of 2013. It was like 3.2 billion impressions. So you can like pull up neat little stats like that for yourself.
Wow.
And you get to speak at neat conferences like this. Let's see if I still have a PowerPoint presentation somewhere. There's one called Shampoo, but I don't think that's it. Any questions while we're reading?
Did you say Sprout Social was free or?
I think they start at like $29 or $49 for basic accounts, and then their enterprise ones are $100, and you charge per seat too. So if you have multiple people that work in a team, they charge per seat for that. Oh, that's not me.
So does Sprout Social work only with like your social networks, or can it also take like the clickstream data from your website or anything like that?
I think you can integrate some Google Analytics into it. I think we've done it, but I haven't done it personally. Like one of our social analytics person did it. There's that option. Okay. Here we go. Peak Analytics. Anyone ever heard of them? Peak Analytics is really cool because you can actually tell them what accounts you want them to check out. They have to be Twitter accounts. And it's peakanalytics.com. And they give you, I think, like 50,000 followers worth of analytics for free. So if you have like, if you want to track a whole bunch of people that have like 500 followers apiece, you can see like who the most influential people are in that group. But if you have like 20 or 30,000 followers that you're trying to track, it like won't give you that for free. But basically, so I plugged in a whole bunch of different. These are all press and media organizations in Houston. So I was trying to write a blog post on who the most influential, who the most socially influential media people are in Houston, right? So Houston Press, it shows they've got 38,000 people in their audience, and 137x is their social pool. So there's the social pool is the multiple of your average Twitter user that they have like influence to, right? So they're saying they have 137 times as much influence on Twitter as your average Twitter user. People like Chris Brogan have like 3,000 social pool, and the average network size. So you can see, the people that follow them, do they have a bunch of influential people following them, right? Mm. But it goes into that even more. You can pull a whole bunch of demographic data. So who has to put together like media kits for, if you're trying to sell space on your website, if you have a blog, if you're a nonprofit and you're trying to sell sponsorships at something like that, you can actually put your own Twitter handle in and get stuff like your total audience and your social pool, right? So that's what we covered already. What's the demographic of the people that follow you, right? So I'm 60% male, 40% female, and then they also give you like a multiple. So I have 1.2 times as many males as the average Twitter user, and only 0.9% or 0.9 times as many females. Geographic insights. I don't know why, but I have a whole lot of people from London that follow me.
It's the bow tie. It's the bow tie.
Yes. But so 1.6 times as many people follow me from London as the average. New York, LA. I'm actually from Houston, so I guess people from Houston don't like me or something.
It's the bow tie.
I think that's a new hashtag.
Good one.
By the way,
yeah.
Okay, completely not related, kind of. We came up with a new hashtag walking around downtown Tulsa last night. So you know how you have those little banners that stick out of like.
Oh, the downtown Tulsa sign?
Yeah. So you know how you have like those little banners that stick out of the side of like light posts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had one that said, "Eat downtown," and I was like, that sounds really wrong. They didn't run that by like a panel of like 5th graders before that. So audience interest. This is kind of cool.
My inner 12-year-old.
So audience interest,
What
right?
about junior high students?
Art, auto, business, cooking, education. It grabs, so when they actually pull the different followers that follow you, they go out and try and find them in different places, right? So it goes out and figures out if your Twitter handle is Eric T. Tung, and there's also a Facebook account called Eric T. Tung, it actually tries and gets as many different connections as it can, right? So 1.5 times as many people follow me that are interested in business, but not that many in like music for some reason. I don't know. So you can kind of see why people follow you there. Career. I've got 1.3 times as many people that make over $100,000. I don't know where they get this info from, but but that's only 1/3 of the people that follow me. 53% are between 50 and 100, and 18% are less than 50. So you can pull some pretty cool stuff. Rafflecopter. Anyone use Rafflecopter?
Yeah.
Awesome platform, and it like integrates with everything. So you can create like a Facebook tab on your Facebook page that includes Rafflecopter. You can also have a widget for your blog, and you can use different actions to incentivize what you want them to do, right? So you could say, like over here on the left, if you tweet about this giveaway, I'll give you an extra entry, right? Or if you like this page on Facebook, you get another entry. Follow an account on Twitter, create a poll, or you can create a poll. Join a mailing list, pin an image, follow on Pinterest. So there's a whole bunch of different options you can have it do, right? So instead of just having like hey, follow us on Twitter, and then maybe we'll give out something cool, you can have them do multiple things, and then just incentivize them for that. Also, by the way, Rafflecopter has a free month trial, so if anyone wants to try it out, you can do that. You can tell it when the timing starts, right? When it starts and ends. They'll give you the HTML code that you can use to embed on your blog, on your website, or you can install the Facebook app too. So there's the free, the blog, and the business, and they have different options. I haven't tried out the other options yet. So that's it. Any questions?
Oh, come on. None? No questions, guys?
Processing.
Yeah, our minds are just too blown right now.
You said you mentioned your favorite analytics. Is that peak? Was peak your...
Peak for the purposes of trying to figure out like demographics, but really Sprout Social when it comes to trying to figure out like followers and retweets and engagement and stuff.
What about, do you know if there's any kind of tool, like if you manage multiple Twitter accounts or Facebook, I guess Facebook you can toggle, but can you toggle on Twitter?
Oh, like natively within. I use TweetDeck for that.
Really?
TweetDeck or Sprout Social. I use Sprout Social now also because there's no more TweetDeck mobile app, right? So if you want to toggle between social accounts while you're live tweeting at an event, Sprout Social gives you that option, so you can tweet through that.
What if I'm like just like on here, and I want to, like instead of like logging out, logging in, logging.
Not really. I mean, you'd have to go. Well, I think TweetDeck would probably be the best for that too.
So have you used Hootsuite before? I mean, you've used Sprout, obviously.
Yeah.
Have you used Hootsuite? I mean,
Hootsuite, I think I was probably one. I think I started using Hootsuite before they had a whole bunch of stuff that they added onto it. So I know they've added more features to it. Recently, they actually acquired Uberview as well. So that kind of indicates to me they're going to add a lot more analytics and listening capability, hopefully. But I think it's a lot of just kind of personal preference too.
Well, I mean, because I think Hootsuite's a cheaper option, but it's one of those things that, I mean, sometimes I debate on whether or not Sprout is worth the extra money and just what the advantages are. And obviously, if you look at both of them, they'll say, oh, we're the best in the world, you know.
I feel like Sprout has more robust analytics behind it, and I think they're built a little bit better for kind of the multi-handle, multi-platform kind of thing. Hootsuite to me is still a lot more like, kind of tracking my feeds and sub-scheduling, that kind of stuff.
We're kind of learning with our organization on Twitter, and as far as reporting, we're trying to decide if we're going to be reporting, every obviously we're going to report every month and quarterly, but we're trying to decide if we need to report every week or every 2 weeks, and trying to understand what we should be reporting. Obviously, reach is important and knowing the influence on your followers, but if you had any advice as to 3 things that you've got to be reporting and you should be reported every week or every month is good enough. Do you have any?
I think it depends on what kind of results you're looking for, right? So, if you are a hardcore, KPI-based type company, what kind of...
We're a nonprofit for early childhood education.
See, that's not hardcore at all.
No.
So, but maybe it's do you want form fills? Do you want people's information to get on your newsletter? Or
No.
you just want
conversion?
I don't know. I'd say it's probably a lot of clicks, right? It's getting the information out there, right?
Right.
Knowledge. So probably.
We're not big on donations or anything. We're not trying to get people to donate now or anything like that. We're really just trying to share knowledge and kind of put ourselves out there, bring ourselves.
I'd say clicks and impressions.
Okay.
Our social group actually falls under PR at our company. So a lot of times we talk about impressions, even though I don't really like to. But when our PR person's we secured 5 major press mentions for 200,000 impressions or whatever, then they would kind of print up to that. So I don't really like impressions, but it's kind of a good way to get an idea.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. So what's everyone's best takeaway so far this conference?
This conference?
Yes.
Conference-wide?
The entire conference.
I've got to pull pieces of my brain back together. But for this particular session, I had no idea all that was out there. So just one, thank you for bringing a lot of that to my attention, that it even exists, because that is going to save my life. Just conserving time. I mean, at home, there's a big social media rule, and part of it is because my daughter just says, "Mom, put down your phone." So I have to listen to her. So now knowing that there are things that'll make my life way easier is just, for real, when I say you're blowing my mind, I'm not kidding. That was what I needed to hear. Very glad to hear from you.
Awesome.
Are we going to be able to get a copy of this one?
Yep. ART.co/Tulsa robot.
Well, now, then you want-
It's a dangerous
the
topic.
last 19 days are going to be up there for a while, or?
Yeah, they're all on SlideShare. So if you go to SlideShare and search for ART Tom, you can find all my presentations.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. Yeah. So, Angel, to your point, I probably spend a half hour every week, I'll go on Twitter, pick a few lists to check out. My VP tweets a lot of Harvard Business Journal type stuff, so it's very businessy, but kind of cool. So I'll go in and just buffer retweet a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, and it'll just kind of pop out during the course of the day, during the course of the week.
Right, because that's part of what I was loving about sitting here in real time, watching you teach us, and then get tweets from you. And I'm like, you did not just do that. Now you do something else.
You didn't see it, but I went like this real quick.
Because talked about voodoo yesterday, and I'm certain you know exactly the tricks.
I love this because when you have a full-time job and your part-time job is so time-consuming, trying to promote that through social media, which can be a full-time job by itself, becomes time-consuming. And then I've got a home to run, and I've got a high school senior at the moment, and it's kind of like I've run out of time. I don't even have time to cook most days. So it's like, you want me to write a blog post? What? I need to create an event? It's like crap. So this is good. And Twitter sometimes suffers. Facebook I can manage more, but Twitter really suffers because I don't have the time.
I'm serious. You can probably. So one of the rules that we have at DMC, one of the suggestions is tweet when you eat. So when you're waiting in line, when you're making lunch or something, go check out Twitter and see what people are talking about. You know, you go grab yourself a coffee or something. You're making your creamer. You know, maybe respond to someone or whatever. So.
That's good. That's really good.
I like that.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic.
Now, I think we're all about to eat, so I better see some tweets out there.
Yeah.